Hi, I'm Stu from Hive Mind Automation and welcome back to the Hive. In this video, we'll be taking a look at using YubiKeys to secure your Home Assistant instance and more. Now, we've set up two-factor authentication in a previous video, but we're going to do it again, moving our 2FA away from an app like Google Authenticator or Twilio Authy over to the YubiKey, which has some extra security features. We'll also discuss the reasons why you should be enabling multi-factor authentication and the security implications for not doing so. This is just one of many videos I'll be making about security when it comes to your smart home. But the security concepts I'll cover are useful in more domains than just home automation. So while I roll the intro, take a moment to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notified when I release new videos each week, and give that like button a hit. And let's get started. Before we get too deep into YubiKeys and how to use them, I did realize while editing this video that I forgot to mention that I paid for these YubiKeys with my own money, and I'm not sponsored by Yubikey. That being said, if you'd like to pick up some YubiKeys after watching this video, I'll be putting an affiliate link in the video description down below so that you can buy YubiKeys direct from Yubikey and help out the channel at the same time. Back to the video. So firstly, what is this YubiKey and why should you care? Well, the YubiKey is a device that makes two-factor authentication as simple as possible. Instead of a code being texted to you or generated by an app on your phone, you press this little button on the YubiKey. So when we talk about multi-factor authentication, there's a couple of concepts we probably need to consider. Authentication generally is broken down into a few different categories. There's something you know, and that's normally something like your password or a PIN code. Something you have, something like a badge or a smart home. And lastly, there's something you are. And that tends to orbit around biometrics like your fingerprint or a face scan. So the YubiKey fits into the something you have category, but more than that, it adds an additional layer by requiring the physical presence of your YubiKey to produce your one-time passwords. And that means that even in the event that your password and the phone that you use for your one-time passwords are compromised, so long as you still have your YubiKey, your accounts remain secure. The YubiKey offers more than just one-time passcode authentication too. Using a modern browser and a protocol called FIDO2, you can use your YubiKey for passwordless login to sites. Some sites like Dropbox support this already. YubiKey can also be used for smart card authentication to a computer. So you could actually use one of these little guys to log into your computer without your password. For the purposes of this video though, we're going to focus on the one-time password functionality as that's what's supported currently in the context of Home Assistant. If and when FIDO2 authentication comes to Home Assistant, I will absolutely be doing a video on using the YubiKey for that. Now, this particular model is the YubiKey 5C NFC, and that model actually means a few things. It's USB Type-C, and it's got NFC functionality built into it as well. And I normally keep it on my keychain, so it's with me at all times. With this YubiKey, I can use it in the USB Type-C plug on my laptop or using the NFC scanning functionality on my iPhone. So let's take a look at how we use it. We'll pop over to my laptop here and we need to have installed the Yubikey Authenticator app. Now, I've already installed that, so I'm going to open that up. Now, of course, I've already got some one-time passcodes on my YubiKey, but you'll see that we have nothing available in our Yubikey Authenticator app until we plug our YubiKey into our laptop. So I'll do that now. So the app says insert your YubiKey, and we'll see that we've got our one-time passcodes here. We can also use our NFC to scan the key, and I'll demonstrate that a little later. So as you can see, I've already set up some one-time passcodes here, and what we're going to do now is set up a new one. So I'm going to pop over to my Home Assistant instance here, and this is my demo instance. We'll see that's there, and we'll pop over to my name in the bottom left corner, and I'm just going to disable this Authenticator app TOTP. I'm going to hit disable and OK. And that's just disabled the pre-existing one-time password configuration that we had. What I'm going to do is hit enable on here, and it's going to generate my QR code and also a backup code here. Now there's two ways that we can add this TOTP authentication to our YubiKey, our Yubico Authenticator app here. So I've just grabbed the Yubico Authenticator app. If we click on the plus button here in the top right hand corner, it tells us make sure the QR code is fully visible and add the account. So what we can do here is change this name to demo and the account name Stuart, and we will leave require touch on. And what we'll do now is we will click add. Now if the QR code wasn't visible here on the screen, we could copy this code here and then paste that into the app. That's the other way. So what we would have actually had happen, and if I go back and let me minimize this, so what would have happened in that case is I would have clicked plus, and it would have said either make sure the QR code is fully visible, or we can go manual and we can enter the secret key in there. But if I go back, if I click the plus button without that visible, leave it on scan, and then bring my Home Assistant back up and then go back over here and scan, it's figured out the QR code. We'll call that Home Assistant demo. We'll leave that at Stuart. We'll leave require touch on. If we turn that off, you would have seen one of my one-time passcodes still going through before without being hashed out. If we leave that off, that's what happens there. But if we leave it on and we click add, what now happens is we have, and where are you? Home Assistant demo, here we are. So we've got Home Assistant demo Stuart, and if I double click that, it says touch your YubiKey, so that little brass circle that we saw before. If I tap that, it's exposed our one-time passcode, and I can then paste that in there because it copies it for us as well when we hit the touch. And setup is done. So we'll close that. I'll hit log out, and I'm going to log back in. So Hivemind and passcode there, and my two-factor authentication code. So I'll pop back over here, and I'm going to find Home Assistant demo. I'm double clicking and tapping my YubiKey. It's copied the code, and we're pasting that in there, and next, and we are logged back in. So let's take a look at that on our iPhone. Now I have a second YubiKey here, and I got this one so that I would have a backup just in case something happened to the one that I keep on my keyring. Okay, so we've removed the multi-factor authentication here. I'm going to set that up again, but this time we're doing it on our iPhone with the backup YubiKey. So I'm going to enable. And so again, we've got our QR code up on screen, and I'm going to, on my iPhone, open up the Authenticator app, and it says either insert your YubiKey. You can actually get ones that plug into the Lightning port on an iPhone. I'm not sure if these 5C ones will plug into an Android device. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to swipe down on the phone, and it's going to say ready to scan, and I'm going to put the iPhone up to the YubiKey like so, and it has opened up my Yubico Authenticator, and we can see we've got Home Assistant prod. But what I'm going to do is tap the plus button in the top right corner, scan the QR code, and we'll scan that there. We're going to put require touch on there because this is going to add it to the key, and I'll hit save. And we're going to scan the YubiKey again. Okay, and it's added that there. Now when you scan it using the NFC, it doesn't require the touch, but now it's going to ask us to put in the code, so I will type that in here and click submit before it expires. It is invalid, so I need to scan this again. That's because I'm doing the wrong one, so I need to go 668-850. I was grabbing the production one there instead of the demo one, so we'll hit submit. So we'll hit submit and setup is done. So we're now good to go with the iPhone setup. Now what you could do here is leave that QR code on screen and set up multiple devices with the same one-time passcode, and that's not a new concept. And I absolutely recommend that you do something like that if you're using multiple YubiKeys. You could also use this to set up something like Authy as well, so that you've got more than one way to get to your one-time passwords. And this is handy if you need to share accounts, say with your spouse, but you still want to ensure that you've got the security of having multi-factor authentication enabled. So that is setting up YubiKeys for use with Home Assistant. Now it's important to make sure that you do set up multi-factor authentication on any accounts that support it. If somehow your account password gets compromised, adding multi-factor authentication to your accounts means that even if someone has your username and password, they still can't log into your account without that third factor of authentication. So where any service supports multi-factor authentication, you absolutely should be enabling that, whether that is using Google Authenticator, Authy, or a YubiKey. If you want to pick up a YubiKey for yourself or two, I've put some affiliate links in the video description down below. Using those affiliate links won't cost you any extra, but it does help the channel out by providing a commission on any purchases you make. YubiKeys are fantastic for storing your one-time passwords and providing passwordless login to services like Dropbox. And like I said before, you can even use your YubiKey for smart card login to a computer. That's all we have for this video, and I do hope that it helped you in your home automation journey. Be sure to comment down below with home automation ideas that you would like to see me cover in a future video. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button down below to give it a like. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing now. While you're at it, hit the bell icon so you get notified when I release new videos each week. And don't forget to follow HiveMind Automation on social media. The links for those are in the video description down below. Lastly, if you like what I'm doing here and you want to help to support the channel, I've put a Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description down below. Contributions through that Buy Me a Coffee link are put towards making more and better content for you to enjoy. I want to thank you so much for watching. I'm Stu from HiveMind Automation, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.